Hello.
Morning to the West Coast, and early afternoon to the to the East Coast. My name is Kyle. Beside me is Luke today.
Hi.
Doobie is
I'm
about to
Doobie.
begin his trip on the Disney Wish, so we'll be with you all week. I don't know about Friday yet, but Monday through Thursday, Luke and I will be here bringing you the news. So thank you for helping me out, Luke.
Oh, you're welcome. You're
Um,
welcome.
I know you've seen the show before, so you know we're going to start with stock. So I'm going to play the intro, and then we'll discuss. So normally Doobie makes me guess what I think the stock is doing. Last time we checked in on it, it was right around $100. So you don't have to know anything about the stock because I'm wrong just as much as anyone else. Do you think that as of this moment, it is up, down, or flat from when we last checked in on it at $100?
I'm going to say down based off of the box office for Quantum Mania.
Interesting. Let's see.
That's my reasoning.
156. So it's about flat from last time we checked. He only writes down the whole number, but yeah, so it's basically flat.
Yeah.
I don't know what it closed at 100, so it's up a little tiny bit from the previous close, but that's not how we do things around here. So there you go. Despite that, yeah, as you mentioned, Quantumania had a large fall. It's pretty in line with what it's been lately for Disney, for Marvel movies, and it had a larger than expected opening. And also the way that I've talked about this before, but the way that they moved the Thursday grosses in with the Friday, it automatically, I know they've been doing it for a long time, so it doesn't just affect this one, but that's why you see these larger drops partially, is because you really have 2 days of grosses, and you're like, well, this one day didn't make as much as these 2 days. So
that makes sense. And I mean, typically, I'm sure more people are going to be going to see the movie Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday than every day thereafter.
Yeah.
On average.
I hate to break everyone's heart. I don't have a weather report today because I was busy this morning, which we'll get to that next. This morning, so we've talked about plenty of times before on here that Disney's Reedy Creek Improvement District, the Florida legislature signed a bill that would overhaul that basically. So let me just pull this up. So Ron DeSantis signed that today after it passed legislation a couple of weeks ago. I was wondering why hadn't been signed yet, but it's because you want to do a big thing. So he was at the Reedy Creek Improvement District firehouse this morning,
which is right across from Disney Springs. For those who don't know, it's like kind of on that street leading towards Saratoga Springs.
Right. Yeah, so he was there. He made a speech. He started off by saying the corporate kingdom finally comes to an end. He spoke a little bit about that. He had some guests talk about some other parts of Disney that didn't necessarily have to do with Reedy Creek, and then signed the bill. He did announce during his press conference who he intends to appoint for the thing, because that's the whole thing. So basically, Reedy Creek is now going to be called, I guess as of today, I don't 100% know how that works, the Central Florida Tourism Oversight District. And instead of being a board that's mostly appointed by Disney, the landholder, it will now be appointed by the governor. These people will need to be confirmed by the state Senate. But he has Martin Garcia, who is an attorney in Tampa, Bridget Ziegler, who is from the Sarasota County School Board, and Michael Sasso, he's an attorney in Seminole County. Ron Perry is the CEO of the Gathering USA, and Brian Ongst, I think is his name, or something like that. And he's an attorney in Clearwater. So DeSantis will formally nominate them later today. They will need to get approved by the Senate, which I don't see any reason why they won't.
Yeah.
And then they're scheduled to meet a week from Wednesday. So that should be March 8th is what he said. And DeSantis also said that one of the things he'll be pushing for is for them to raise wages for first responders. Obviously, he did this at the firehouse. The firemen there gave him this axe. At least that's what I called it. I hope that's right. So yeah.
And we can appreciate raised wages. That's always a good thing.
Yeah. And one of the things that caught people's ears this was after the actual ceremony part of it, after the bill had been signed, he did take a few questions from the journalists that were there. And one of them was, they asked how he chose the people that are going to be on the board. And he talked about, these have a range of experience, even though, half of them are attorneys. He said he looked for business experience, local government, and, quote, those who want to see Disney be what Walt envisioned. So I tweeted that quote. People are definitely taking interest in that quote.
Yeah.
So RIP Reedy Creek. It is done. We'll see what happens with that. But we are just going to move right along, because over on the West Coast, magic has finally happened, Luke.
It took some time, but the magic happened.
Exactly. So we did have Mike Celestino there on Friday, and then of course storms were hitting at Disneyland on Friday and Saturday, but Sunday it finally went off without a hitch. So if you want to tell us a little bit more about that, Luke.
Yeah, and these were, before we even get to Magic Happens, these were some crazy storms for LA, with snow on the Hollywood sign even at one point. So it is quite understandable why those performances didn't go off as planned on Friday and Saturday. But on Sunday, they do two performances, at least at the moment, and at least on weekends, 3:30 and 6:30. And those went off without a hitch, which was nice. So yeah, we have an article here. Basically,
this is from the cast previews. It's not a nighttime parade, right?
Or do
they have like a later showing?
The 6:30 performance, at least at this time of the year, does take place at night, so they do have nighttime lighting for it. But yeah, this was a pretty cool article shared originally by the OC Register, that more than half of the almost 100 performers in the parade were in the parade originally back in 2020. So, and considering I was looking at my my time hop the other day, and I think it was yesterday, and I had seen Magic Happens 3 years ago on that day. So I think that might have been the first day. And yeah, it's really good to have it back. I am a huge fan of this parade. I think it's probably the best daytime parade. Definitely the best daytime parade currently running in the US. I would say it's better than Festival of Fantasy. I think it could do with maybe having like one or two extra floats. But I really love the influence from more modern kind of cultures. Like it has like even like the costumes have a very like drag feel to them. So, and the music is fantastic, which is another point that we should mention, is that at the end, the end medley that plays for the last couple of floats, it's a song, but it kind of weaves in like little trinkets from When You Wish Upon a Star, or other famous Disney songs. There's even like a line from Remember the Magic in there, the Walt Disney World Parade from the 25th anniversary. But one of them was just a quick zippity doo dah, and that was replaced with, I think, When There's a Smile in Your Heart, kind of in the same from Peter Pan, and kind of in the same section. So more zippity doo dah and Splash Mountain type stuff being removed ahead of Splash Mountain itself closing.
We still don't have a closure date, but I would imagine that it happens sometime after Toontown finally reopens. We will have Mike Celestino in the parks tomorrow. So we will have footage of the updated Magic Happens. But for now, thank you. I was about to say, hi, Stephen. We're still live. Y'all can still comment, even though Doobie's not here. I will. I've never produced before on this show, so I'm got a lot I'm going on, but I'm watching your comments, so I will be sure to interact with them when I see them. But let's go over to Shanghai real quick. I thought this was kind of cool. We'll get to their whole celebration, but they're going to have the Red Panda May from Turning Red is going to be part of it. It sounds like she'll probably be part of like the street festing that they have, and not just a meet and greet. But I really like this. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I thought that was fantastic. My first thought when I saw it was Baymax covered in fur. Um, but yeah, no, for such an underrated Disney movie too, Turning Red was fantastic, and it's nice to see it getting some representation, even if it's not in the U.S. parks.
Yeah. I hope it comes to the U.S. parks eventually, even if it is in, you know, a new entertainment offering instead of like as a meet and greet. Um, but yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at what else is coming to Shanghai as part of their spring celebration. Uh, Max says it's not as fun without Doobie to make fun of. Yeah, he is a little stupid, and now I'm all alone because Luke fell out, so that's fun. Um, I'm glad Stephen made it home safe. Let me go ahead and talk about Shanghai while I wait for Luke to come back. So this will be from March 1st until the 31st. We mentioned they have, obviously they'll have lots of flowers for spring. They'll have a street fest. Here's some of the characters that'll be part of that. I love this. I just forgot her name. I'm sure it says right up here, doesn't it?
Lena Bell.
Lena Bell, thank you. I have one of her, and I forgot. One of Duffy's friends. I don't know how to describe this. It kind of fits in with Mickey Avenue, but it almost has like I guess because of the suspenders, I think like German.
Yeah, well, it looks like, you know, like lederhosen or something like that. But I really like the like thick line edge. I don't know what you would call that.
Yeah, so it's kind of like they make 3D clothes that are trying to look 2D, kind of like we see with the cast member costumes for Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway at Disneyland, where they have that like flat bow tie, not bow tie thing, but tie thing.
Yeah.
That's kind of, and yeah, so it kind of fits with the whole Mickey Avenue thing.
Yeah, no, it looks really good. I especially really like that lederhosen type costume. I don't even know if it is lederhosen, but that's fun.
And yeah, check out these costumes here. You have Duffy and Friends, and then Mickey and Friends. I love this. Looks like breakdancer Goofy and Mouser-sized Chippendale.
Do you have a favorite of Duffy and his friends?
You know, I'd probably go with Stella Lou.
Okay.
Stella Tony's fairly close behind that. I have an Olu Mel. I like that a lot. I should know it next time. Maybe if people are good and they treat us well, maybe I'll wear my Stella Lou hoodie one day this week that I got in Tokyo. I should take off my banner because that's not accurate anymore.
Yeah, no, I would probably go with Olu. Selfishly because I have a turtle.
Exactly. Oh, you have a turtle. Nice.
I do have a turtle, yeah. But yeah, Olu's just kind of got like a fun look to him, and I really like that he's you know, part of the whole vibe of Alani too, and you can kind of get a lot of his merchandise is available at the Polynesian now. So
yeah, that's where I got mine.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see what we got coming up now. Oh yeah. This is very interesting. You've been to Disneyland Paris plenty of times. Now, when you think about their Tomorrowland, which is called Discoveryland, what sort of characters do you think of?
Well, yeah, I mean, it depends on what era you're thinking of, and I honestly could not even like. It's been a long time since I've been to Disneyland Paris. It's been about 15 years at least. And I can't think of any characters being in Discoveryland, except for probably what Kyle is going to show.
Yeah, so they for a limited time they're going to have Mando and Grogu at Disneyland Paris. This, like we said, they'll be in Discoveryland, which it's kind of like Tomorrowland, but it's all like kind of Jules Verne steampunk theme. Sort of. That's the regular aesthetic, but they do have right now for a little too long, honestly. Their Space Mountain has been the what's it called?
Hyperspace Mountain.
Hyperspace Mountain. Thank you. They also have a Star Tours and a whole Star Wars area, so this isn't out of the blue. But obviously they don't have a Galaxy's Edge, so this is a little bit different. But he'll be there. Well, they'll be there from March 1st to the 14th is what they're currently set
Oh,
for.
that's a very short time.
And then it says they'll take off on another mission. So I wonder if that other mission means coming to Hollywood Studios at some point.
Which is my surprise here is that they're going to Disneyland Paris before Walt Disney World, especially when they kind of have the whole built-in way to run it with how they have them over at Disneyland. So it's a little surprising.
I do have to point out that Max is breaking to Electric Goofaloo for the thing at Shanghai. Tony is partial to Gelatoni, an Italian cat who paints with his tail. Yeah, that's
is that because Tony is an Italian cat who paints with his tail?
Yeah.
I'm going to. I don't know.
You knew he was an artist. You didn't know that that's. Yeah. I think he's working up. He's working on his act right now. It's kind of a vaudeville type act. They're gonna put it at Capone's at some point. I'm sure. Yeah, as a little intermission. It's an intermission, but it's also kind of like the highlight of the show. So anyway,
I'm so incredibly close to Capone's from my house. It is probably about a mile away, if that.
Yes.
Very close. Love it. Never been.
Okay. So for this next one, I actually made a special intro video for this story. So let's go ahead and watch that. That's right. So pickiest eaters, we're going to talk about food. Luke and I battle it out for who's pickier. It kind of depends on the item. He doesn't like cheese, and I don't like fruit. So between the two of us. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and go through this foodie guide for California Adventure Food and Wine. Starting off the bat, Luke, what do you think about this little, looks like pesto pizza with fruit?
Looks like the kind of cheese that would be stinky.
It does look like a stinky cheese. So yeah. Let's go through this, what we have here. Festival Marketplace is nuts about cheese. I mean, you're not. I am.
So no, I'm not. I like nuts, but I don't like cheese. So
a grilled ciabatta with tomato and olive jam, burrata cheese, pesto, and freeze-dried balsamic. I don't know why it needs to be freeze-dried. I'm assuming that's this.
It adds to the elegance.
Oh no, that's the crackers and cheese. That's the first one. This is the second one. I think both of those look okay. I'm more likely herb made crackers with white cheddar, fromage blanc, which just means white cheese, and spicy salami spread and cherry jam. I'm assuming neither of those are a go for you.
Yeah, no, this is definitely a skip booth for me.
All right, so let's go to the next one then. More cheese. This is probably a pass for. Well, actually, no. There's a brownie, but I see nuts in it, so that's not piquing my interest. How do you feel about mimosas?
I do enjoy mimosas. I don't think I would probably pay the price that is probably being charged for said mimosas, just because I feel like you could probably get a better drink for about the same price.
Yeah. Well, I do think it's interesting that they have three different types here. They have a 1923, which is obviously when the Walt Disney Company started. 1939 is that Snow White.
Yeah, Snow White.
And then 1955 is when the Matterhorn opened, of course. No, that's when Disneyland opened. So yeah,
they got the dates right. That's good.
We think. So yeah, they have different flavors for the different Prosecco's. That's kind of cool. And obviously they have a bunch of different wines because this is California and it's a food and wine festival. The Berry Patch, that looks like it might be some Joffrey's Cold Brew.
Before we continue on to that, I don't know if that is referencing Snow White because Snow White came out in 1937.
Okay, yeah. See, I got it wrong. Just like the.
But I also don't know what else it could be referencing because I don't think anything else of note really happened.
And orange juice. I'm sure something happened unless they did get it wrong. But no.
Yeah.
Well, so Snow White, the premiere was in 37. The movie opened wider in 38. But yeah, I don't know what 39 would be. Maybe they'll tell us.
But this next booth looks fantastic.
Okay, the berry patch one.
Yeah, I always enjoy a good berry, so the cheesecake looks pretty good. I'm very intrigued. I enjoy my specialty cold brews and coffees at Disney parks, especially when they contain some Joffrey's.
You are the
Big fan.
VP of Joffrey's Coffee, so
I do. I love me some. I had some this morning. I had a nice Jamaican me crazy K cup, and we'll probably have another one after this. Um, but this looks interesting. I'm not the biggest fan of oat milk. It has an interesting flavor to it that I'm not too keen on.
see, I
But
don't mind. I actually like the flavor. We'll sometimes get it in things to make it a little bit less sweet, and I usually get it with it. I think it'll go well with this. Is for a blueberry
well,
pancake. I think that'll
yeah,
work well. But sometimes there's like an aftertaste or a texture sort of thing that's not great. But I think there's enough other stuff that maybe that'll kind of make up for that.
yeah, that was my thoughts exactly on this with the like the brown butter and the maple syrup. Like, hopefully those will kind of like interact with each other and cut some of the weird sweetness and the odd taste of the oat milk out.
Now, who's Kenny? Do you have any idea?
That is a great question.
Do you think it's Pot Rock? Is there a chance that it's Kenny Pot Rock?
I think there's definitely a chance. My immediate thought was maybe a chef, like a famous chef within the world of food and wine. But Kenny's Family Cheesecake, I could see him walking by and being like, "Hey, I
I'll
love
have to check his
cheesecake."
Instagram real quick and see if he says anything about it.
Yeah.
Let me do that. I don't see anything yet, but let's continue down with our foodie guide here. Delish. First thing, beef and barley poutine, potato bites with braised short beef, rib, cheese curd, stout gravy, and lager micro sponge. Okay. I'm guessing that outside of the cheese curd, that almost sounds up your alley.
Yeah. See, this is where we enter my life. For those of you who are not picky eaters, it's not a choice. It's a it's well, it's partly a choice and it's partly just what I grew up with. But yeah, this would be definitely a order, but ask for no cheese curds.
And then next to that, we have a Cubano slider, inspired by like a Cuban sandwich, slow roasted mustard crusted pork, and a sliced ham, melted Swiss cheese, and a pickle served on a Hawaiian roll. I don't like mustard, but otherwise it sounds pretty good. California craft brews, tons of different beers. We're not going to go through all of those, but there is an IPA sausage dog on a soft pretzel roll with onion, pepper. I'm not going to pretend to know how to say that. Cheddar cheese sauce and malt vinegar onion crunch. I don't think I want to try this, but I'm definitely intrigued and I like the idea of this.
I really like the sound of the pineapple vanilla milkshake IPA. That could be either really good or really bad. There's going to be no in between.
Where's that one?
It's somewhere in the middle. Two down.
Somewhere in the middle.
There you go. You went past it.
Okay.
Brewery.
Oh, there it is. Brewery X.
Or X
yes.
Pineapple.
Let's see. How many of these breweries have I heard of? Golden Road. Ballast Point. There we go.
Yeah.
This looks like a very basic looking stand so far, just based on the photos. Cluck-a-doodle moo. All right. Smoked honey habanero chicken wings. I have to say that sounds delicious. Barbecue beef brisket slider featuring, smoked cheddar and dill pickle on a salt and pepper brioche. You know, I don't like the pickles, but otherwise, both of these look really good.
Yeah, and I'm sure because it's a Disney food festival, I'm sure the honey habanero will not be too spicy.
Yeah, they've done some surprising. There's been a little bit of heat, but yeah, I imagine habanero, especially when mixed with honey, I don't think, and because it's like a rub instead of like a sauce too, I can't imagine it being too much. I will say that this drink sounds totally up my wife is going to want to go to California for this. Bourbon, pineapple, and lime juice, honey syrup, and chipotle sour puree garnished with dried red pineapple wheel.
Yeah, that sounds really good.
So we'll see if we can make it to California for this. Garlic kissed, because who doesn't love garlic? Grilled top sirloin with roasted garlic, Gruyere smashed potatoes, and black garlic chimichurri. That gets a thumbs up from me.
Ever since I've been to the garlic capital of California, Gilroy, California, I've become a garlic snob, and going to the garlic themed theme park up there too. So yeah, definitely a garlic.
And the Gruyere potatoes. So again, that's a knock for. And you also won't like the carbonara garlic mac and cheese with peppered bacon. Again, that sounds like another winner for me, but no. Golden Dreams, obviously paying little homage to the film that used to be a Disney California Adventure in its early days, starring Whoopi Goldberg. Elote paleta, sweet corn paleta with parm crema, chili lime seasoning, corn crunch, and cilantro. Sounds pretty good. Looks like the Donald figure that they have, the little. Do you know what I'm talking about? With the food inspired Disney plushes?
The Munchling, yeah.
Munchlings, yeah.
I forgot about that.
Here's the thing that they featured at the top: the roasted beet and goat cheese flatbread, which is goat cheese. Oh yeah, that's exactly what it says. Yeah. Goat cheese, basil pesto salad. Yeah, no. I heart artichokes. Artichoke pizzetta, artichoke and roasted garlic cream cheese with sun-dried tomatoes, pickled onions, and lemon olive oil drizzled microgreens. And they're also bringing back their artichoke toast. It doesn't look bad, but I don't know if that doesn't sound like it's for me.
Yeah, that's a skip booth for me.
LA style. This would be what Doobie might call uppity foo-foo. Glazed barbecue pork belly with furikake dogarashi salad, mac salad. This would probably be Doobie's pick right here. The Impossible gyro-inspired gyro-inspired flatbread featuring Impossible ground beef with chipotle hummus, tzatziki, and spiced crispy chickpeas. Doobie being a vegetarian, he might go for that. And then, so it's almost Ecto Cooler, but it's Echo Park Cooler. So that's slightly disappointing. No Ghostbusters.
How similar that will taste.
Yes. Peppers Caliente, Chile Relento Empanada with arbol peppers, salsa, and anyway. And then this is the newer dish, the Camarons a la Diabla, spicy shrimp with California chili and cilantro rice. That actually looks good. I would do that. I don't love shrimp, but I think I would try it. Avocado time.
It's avocado time.
Yes. Smash. Avocado. Impossible nacho mac and cheese with cheddar mac featuring seasoned Impossible ground beef, tomatoes, olives, jalapenos, and guacamole. And then another new item, the Impossible Al Pastor tacos. Al Pastor taco featuring Impossible pork with grilled pineapple and avocado tomatillo sauce.
Tomatillo, yeah.
And then just some other items that they'll have throughout the park on some of their menus. This is actually kind of harkens back to what the Food and Wine Festival at DCA used to be, where it was just each quick service and some of the table services would have special items instead of having these dedicated food booths. So they still do that aspect of it, of having some special items.
It's nice to have a little blend of both.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, that is happening. I forgot the date. Let me go look at the date.
It starts next
March 3rd.
This Friday.
Yes, Mike Celestino will be there, so I'm sure we'll be doing a walk and talk from there. And it goes all the way to April 25th. And just because I worked so hard on it, taking all of like 3 minutes, let me go ahead and play an outro for our segment here.
Is that a logo for something? Because that looks very familiar.
It's supposed, so it was just a preset in Premiere for a sports interstitial, and I just changed the text. I seriously made this in 5 minutes before the show. So, you know, if I had a little bit more time, I could have executed my vision, but it looking bad is half the charm, I think.
For 5 minutes work, I think it's pretty good.
Yeah. Next up, we're going to talk about Princess Night. So if you want to intro that while I pull it up.
Yeah, so of course we have Disneyland After Dark events that they've been doing for quite a number of years now at Disneyland. They're special after hours events at the park. And for this year, they're doing the first ever Princess Night. And they're doing 2 of them taking place on March 7th and 9th. And we already got some of the information for what will be taking place during the event. There's going to be a lot of character meetings, so you'll be able to meet with pretty much every princess you can think of. So Belle, Aurora, Ariel, Tiana, Jasmine, Moana, and they'll be meeting in their, you know, the most appropriate themed land for them throughout the park. But there's also
I'm a little disappointed with this lineup. I mean, obviously it has some rarer characters. They do have Princess Leia in Tomorrowland, but I was really hoping that they'd really break the mold with this one and have princesses from other properties that aren't really Disney princesses, like Princess Bride even, or, you know, bring over...
Anastasia.
Yeah, I really thought we'd have an Anastasia, or, you know, bring over Princess Shuri from across the way and have her be there, things like that. I guess just because it's not on the guide doesn't mean they're not 100% doing that, but I think that'd be really cool if they kind of expanded the scope of what a Disney princess is for this particular event. But, you know, at least we got Leia in there, and then some other ones that we don't see as often.
Yeah, Leia's a good choice, and I can't think of the last time I've seen Leia since like Star Wars weekends at Hollywood Studios. So that'll be a cool one to see. And then you have some of the other, I would say some of the other more rare ones would be like Princess Ada from A Bug's Life, and Kida, yeah, from Atlantis: The Lost Empire. And sort of falling into your request to get some more obscure things, one of the photo opportunities will be inspired by the Princess Diaries.
Okay.
It'll be Princess Diaries: The Art of the Fan, which I assume has to do with fans of the Princess Diaries and not fans spinning. So
you would hope.
And then, yeah, there's a lot of entertainment as well. They're going to have a cavalcade with Giselle, so that's another rare one too. You won't be able to meet her, at least they haven't said you'll be able to meet her. And then just you know, a lot of
wait, I gotta.
Oh. No actual pictures for these ones, unfortunately.
Some of them have photos.
Yeah. But
yeah, specialty food like they normally do. None of these are seen that. Be Brave spicy chicken dinner, honey barbecue chicken tenders. I mean, that, how can you go wrong with that? I think both of us would agree on that. Even
the pineapple shrimp skewer sounds good too.
Big slice of when I think about princesses, I think about a big slice of pepperoni pizza. So I'm glad that they're incorporating that.
How could you not?
I do flatbread.
I like the sound of, or I'm intrigued by the mixed berry milk. Could be good, could be atrocious just as easily, but
yes, and New Orleans. I like this preset. I like that they're having a tea service. That actually sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, and it fits the theme very nicely too.
I wonder how long that takes, though. That's the only thing, is like if you're going to the special event and you only have so long, and of course these offerings probably don't start until the actual party does, so then you're really cutting into your time.
Yeah, I mean, you've got 4 hours really to do everything, and and those character lines can get pretty long during these events. I think tickets are still available for Princess Night, so it may not quite be as popular as, like, say, Star Wars Night or some of the other big events, but it's still going to take some time.
Looking at this, I think my pick is the Cajun honey glazed chicken and loaded steak fries.
Oh, yeah, no, that does sound good.
That's going to be in Critter Country, so that'll be at Hungry Bear.
Yeah.
So yeah, Princess Night. Once again, I'm sure we will have full coverage. Mike Celestino works his butt off during these events, going to get as many photos of all the things as possible. So stay tuned for coverage of that.
And if you're a Magic Key holder attending the event, head over to the Star Wars launch bay, and you can get a special keepsake from there. And they'll also have some event merchandise available at a few locations in the park.
So also in the Disneyland Resort, got some new signage. Want to tell us about that?
Yeah. So Earl of Sandwich is back at Disneyland again. It's the gift that keeps on giving. And it's taken over for the La Brea Bakery, which, for those of you who aren't aware, is when you're coming out of Disneyland and California Adventure, La Brea Bakery is the first thing you get to, even before the tram stop. Or Earl of Sandwich now. So it's a very convenient location. But La Brea Bakery had a sit-down side and a walk-up side. So Earl of Sandwich is playing into that and opening up a sit-down side. And I think I read somewhere, nothing official, but I believe it opens today. The Earl of Sandwich Tavern, Restaurant and Bar. There were menus floating around online. Nothing too interesting looking. I think you're probably, if you want Earl of Sandwich, better off just going to the walk-up section. But
yeah, it is interesting though that they are kind of creating a new concept for themselves in a location that's just temporary. So I guess if it goes well, then maybe they'll incorporate this into whatever permanent local, theoretically permanent at this point, location that they'll have at Downtown Disney, and maybe beyond that. But it's kind of an interesting opportunity for them to try something that they probably might not have tried before, just because of the opportunity presented to them.
Yeah, I mean, just thinking about this, I mean, if you think of the location in Disney Springs, the closest building to Earl of Sandwich is the old Wolfgang Puck Express, which is closed. It has been closed for a while. So maybe we'll see them move in and expand their tavern business out east as well.
Yeah. I'm just doing dumb things. See, when I'm trying to run a show, I do Benji things like paste the wrong link in R2-2. So it's just
I did see that, and I did get confused.
Tragic things are happening, basically. But let's go ahead and move on along to happier things, which I almost just showed the article that I just put in to do. Let me see what's next, Luke. We're going to be talking about.
We're talking about
the next link that I did not open yet. James Corden.
James Corden.
Ending his run on the Late Late Show and has a little tease for one of his final shows.
Yeah, James Corden's going to be doing a Lion King skit with Tom Cruise, of all people, on the, what's it going to be called? The last late show.
Which, I believe is going to be a primetime special. And Becca pointed this out to me when seeing this photo, how much Tom Cruise looks like Jerry O'Connell.
Yeah, I can see that, especially in that. I just had to get really close to the screen to look up at him. I can see that. I'm intrigued as to what this could be.
Oh no, here comes trouble.
Oh, I thought we were free of him for the week.
Am I on? Oh man, I'm actually on.
I didn't add you. You added yourself, dude.
I didn't mean to.
It's okay. He is on the ship. He is on the Disney Wish, presumably.
I am on the Disney Wish. I am not showing myself as I intended to do, and I don't know how to switch it, so you don't want to see me anyway. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
How's the Disney Wish?
So I'm thrilled, first of all. It is great. I'm so happy that you guys are doing this. Thank you so much, Luke, for sitting in for me. I'm sure you're doing a good job. I do not want you to do too good a job. I do want to return someday. But how nice.
That's
so,
okay.
Yeah, I'm on the Disney Wish.
I'm going on vacation too, so.
Oh, good for you. And I can fill in for you. I'm on the Disney Wish. You can see the funnel vision up there. Been on here about a half hour. Got to explore the kids club. It's my first time on the Wish, and my family's first time on the Wish. So, Rebecca said, "Hey, do you want to pop in real quick and see if you can join him on the live stream?" I said, "No," but then I thought about it, and she was right. So here I am.
Well, while you're still at port and have the service, I suppose.
Well, my signal, I know, is not great out here. So I just wanted to say hello to everybody. Thank you guys for doing the show. And I will let you get back to whatever it is you're doing.
No problem. I'll have to show you the special segment bumper that I just played for everyone. You'll be very proud of us. I made a special segment bumper. I'll have to show that to you so that you can be proud of us.
He's very proud of himself.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you going to show it?
Oh, can you see it? I guess I can play it. We had a foodie guide to talk about.
I can see.
So I will play you this as soon as I scroll down to it.
Okay, so first it was awesome. Second, is that you on bass?
No, it's not. That's some stock music. I had to stick with our theme of having the catchiest songs ever for our bumper music.
Okay, I actually really thought that was you doing some original music there, so I'm a little disappointed. But that's okay.
Well, I made it 5 minutes before broadcast, so maybe next time.
What was the weather? Did you do a good weather report today?
I didn't, because I had to listen to DeSantis's press conference, so that took up my time.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. All right, well, I'll let you guys get back to the real work. Thank you very much for giving me a moment to say hello.
All right,
All right, talk to you guys later.
Have a great cruise.
You take me off. I don't know how to do it.
Thank you, Doobie, for coming to us live from the Disney Wish as he gets ready to embark on his first, not his first cruise, but his first cruise on the new ship. And he has been very much looking forward to this for several months. He was supposed to be on one of the first cruises that got canceled because the ship was delayed. So at long last, he will be doing that. Let's move on to our next story. They're making some changes at the Disneyland Resort. The way guests can charge to their rooms if they're staying on property. Used to be able to do so with the hotel key. Now you're going to have to use the app. It sounds like you have to go to pull up a code in the app to charge your hotel room, and then cast members will scan that. Now, my question, Luke, don't they?
It's probably the same as mine. Yeah.
That was one of the features that when they introduced Magic Band Plus at Disneyland, it's one of the things that they have a lot of the same capabilities as at Walt Disney World, but they don't have that. So I can't tell if this is a step closer to that or a step away from that.
I would say a lateral move. But yeah, no, that's really odd. Like why I feel like I love that they have introduced Magic Bands out there, and I'll be at Disneyland this weekend, so I'm excited to walk around with my Magic Band on. But I feel like if you're going to do it, go all in, and they haven't entirely done that.
Yeah, so we'll see. Hopefully this does eventually make it so that you can tap your Magic Band to charge to your room, because that'd be way more convenient than having to pull up an app and show a barcode. But, it is what it is. Another piece of news, moving over to the media side of the company, finally, after all that parks news. And by the way, we have Park Talk later today, so just stealing all of their material. They kind of a surprise that the Santa Clauses was getting a second season. We learned at the end of the first season that was happening. And now they've cast another person for that show. And it's a familiar face to people who have watched ABC for any length of time. Eric Stonestreet, who played Cam, right?
Yeah.
On the Family. It's either Cam or Mitchell. Couldn't remember which one. But he plays Cam. Huge Kansas City Chiefs fan. And now he's going to be on Santa Clauses Season 2.
Yeah, should fit right in on that. I haven't seen the Santa Clauses myself. I had a window to watch it there, and I didn't, and now I don't feel like watching anything Christmassy. So maybe in July, I'll be in the Christmas mood and want to watch something. But
well, Eric's going to play Mad Santa, so
that's just mad.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah. There's a little bit more of a description of his character, I believe.
Sure, yeah, let me scroll down to that as soon as I get back to it.
I cannot think of off the top of my head.
Magnus Antis, who reigned during the 14th century and is now returning to try and take down Scott Calvin and reclaim the North Pole. Sounds like some Doctor Who stuff.
Yeah, it sounds like Nick Frost playing Santa Claus in that one Peter Capaldi special. Yeah, which was actually pretty good. I think I would take Nick Frost over Tim Allen.
Well, Luke, oh, sorry. I was like, I'm here. I'm the only one hearing the noise. It's because I clicked the video. We're going to move on to our next segment here. We have so this
can't help but bump my head.
This is something that Doobie normally does, and obviously he's not here, but I didn't want to let it completely go. I only have one pocket pick for everyone, but I think it's an interesting one. Let me kind of set it up because, well, it's all in French. So this is from the Disneyland Paris TikTok. It is all in French, like I said, but I think you'll still get it because the entire idea is that they're playing charades to guess the superhero that are on these Coca-Cola cans. I thought it was kind of fun, so let's go ahead and watch this together.
Alors, est-ce que vous êtes prêts à jouer à un petit jeu? Oui. Votre mission consiste en deviner le super-héros qui est sur cette canette de Coca-Cola. Un de vous va devoir mimer les actions de ce super-héros et l'autre va devoir deviner. Vous avez 30 secondes pour le faire.
Oh, that looks cool.
Ok. Volage. C'est normal. Non. Je vole. Le cœur. Iron Man. Mais c'est bon.
Eh oui, c'est ça. Cheese. Go. Waouh. Donc, oui, c'est vrai.
I hate that that's how they figured out Black Widow.
C'est Loki, non? Pas Loki. Il me dit quelque chose. Bah, je sais pas son nom, mais c'est dans Black Panther, voilà.
Je pense que c'était pas trop clair. Hein. Vous allez pouvoir rencontrer Black Panther et vous entraîner pour pouvoir faire tous ces poses.
Wakanda forever. I was surprised they didn't just do the Wakanda forever to begin with. Like that would really upset it up.
I mean, I guess no one else goes like this in the MCU. So
Ant-Man with his antenna? No, so I thought that was fun, even though we don't 100% know what they're saying. Unless you speak French, people might. They're smarter than me.
Would it be cheating to just do the ants?
That would be, I mean, you couldn't say it, but if you kind of like do the rhythm, I'm sure my wife would get it if I did that. So yeah, I thought that was fun. That's my only pocket pick. And now we're going to move on to what Doobie likes to call the educational part of the show. This Day in Disney History, which I combed through the wonderful site This Day in Disney History and found a few items worth talking about. First of all, on this day in 1930, Luke, a Disney legend was born. He is an Imagineer. He is, let's see what else I can say about him. I don't know, do you have any guesses so far based on that very little information that I gave you?
Well, it's hard to guess when I know who it is.
That's a really good point, and you could just play along, make yourself look smart. But you know what? I appreciate the honesty because I forgot that I put it on the list.
I will tell you that it is someone who's an Imagineer, but to a fan of all things themed entertainment, he's done a lot of stuff outside of Disney as well.
That's right.
It's Walt Disney. No.
Yes. Rolly Crump, born on this day in 1930. And here I have Disney Legend Spotlight. This is a series that one of our contributors, Jim Smith, does. He does a great job with these. And this is one he wrote just last month about Rolly. So Do yourself a favor and you can check that out. Actually, I will put a link in the comments if you're watching on YouTube. I will share that there so that y'all can read that. So yes, yeah, very cool. Huge Disney legend.
Yeah, lots of, I mean, you'll mainly know his work for It's a Small World and working on the Haunted Mansion, the Tiki Room, that sort of thing. But he also did quite a bit for the original opening of Epcot, including Kitchen Cabaret. I think he worked on the original designs for Wonders of Life, kind of before it became what it was when it opened. So yeah, he's done a lot. And then one of my personal favorites is at Knott's Berry Farm. He was brought in to be the designer for their Knott's Berry Tales attraction, which opened in the 70s and was there for about a decade or so. But they brought a spiritual successor of it back just a couple of years ago, which relies on his designs quite heavily.
You know, being born in 1930, I'll admit that I spent this entire conversation just assuming he had passed away, but then Googled it. Nope, still going. Yeah. 93 years old. So happy birthday to him in that case. I was avoiding saying that because I'm stupid. But next up on our list, on this day in 1935, Disney won an Oscar for its Silly Symphony short, The Tortoise and the Hare, which I checked is available to watch on Disney+. We will have another Oscar winning thing. Obviously, it's Oscar season. So, yeah. Have you ever watched this?
Yeah, I had, I think I have them somewhere in my closet, but I had the Walt Disney Treasures tins, the DVDs, and I used to watch those all the time. And one of the ones that I had was the Silly Symphonies one. And yeah, they're really fun. And especially if you look through, who Oscar nominated shorts from the 1930s, you're almost guaranteed to see a Silly Symphony either nominated, multiple nominated, and more than likely to see one win that year. I mean, I'm sure Who Framed Roger? Who's Afraid of the Big Bad Wolf? The Three Little Pigs, all those kind of shorts. The Old Mill, you got a lot of famous Silly Symphonies.
I'm surprised we've been talking about this for a whole 2 minutes and Tony is not yet in the green room I anticipated. But yeah, so this one for, as you kind of mentioned, it wasn't called Best Animated Short. It was whatever equivalent of that. That's what it won back on this day in 1935, which I think it means it came out in 34, but the ceremony was in 35. Makes sense. Like I said, you can watch that on Disney+. These next, actually right after that, 1941, I don't have any media for this, but When You Wish Upon a Star won Best Song at the Oscars 1941. So one of the most, I'd probably say, I mean, they use it for the intro to the Disney, most Disney films, or at least a version of that. So it's probably easily one of the most iconic, if not the most iconic Disney song.
I would say it is the Disney song. There are plenty of songs that Disney uses all the time. I mean, It's a Small World, Under the Sea for some reason. Great song, but they use it all the time. But when You Wish Upon a Star, I think is the one that really kind of just nails to a T the Disney vibe.
Yeah. I mean, it's still used all the time today. And so, yeah, congratulations to that. Belated by, let's see, I don't want to do the math. 82 years ago. Is that right?
Yes.
Wow.
No. Yes. 82.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
On this day, 1987, Tokyo Disneyland welcomed its 40 millionth guest. And if that sounds like a lot, it's even more impressive when you realize that park only opened in 1983. So within 4 years,
less than 40. That's about 3.5. Well, no, because they opened in April.
Yeah,
but still less than 4 years.
Yeah, that's awesome. I do have media for this next one. In 1995, This wasn't the grand opening of the attraction itself, but Michael Eisner and George Lucas were on hand for a ceremony dedicating the Indiana Jones adventure, the up until Rise of the Resistance, the last e-ticket that the Disneyland park added. Is that accurate?
Yeah, last like fully constructed from scratch e-ticket, and now they've got 2 new ones. So that's nice.
Well, so you're saying that Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway is an e-ticket?
I would say so. I think
that's a little controversial. I think I'd probably say like a D, but I won't fight you on E.
Upper D.
Upper D.
If it's a D, it is in the very high levels of D. But I would consider that an e-ticket before I consider Millennium Falcon an e-ticket.
I would agree with you there.
Also, that is a fantastic Michael Eisner suit.
It really is.
We don't get enough of the tan suits, and I think he rocked it. Appreciate it.
Well, I'm gonna go. Well, you already saw it in the thing, so never mind. I was gonna have you guess what it is, but it also says what it is right in the a few seconds in. But on this day, back in good old 2001, this movie that I will play a little bit of right now.
Walt Disney created one of the most beloved motion pictures of all time. And now, the adventure continues in Disney's Lady and the Tramp 2, Scamp's Adventure. Scamp's a pup who's not afraid to chase his dreams.
I want to be wild and free. He won't last 5 minutes out here.
But he'll need some help from his new friend Angel, played by Alyssa Milano.
It's the girl from the wrong side of the tracks. The guy from the right side of the tracks.
Scott Wolf plays Scamp.
Scamp definitely has a fire burning inside of him.
Together, they take...
You can tell this was made in the early 2000s or late 90s based on that casting. Go ahead.
First off, I've never seen the movie, but I have seen this commercial so many times because it was on so many DVDs from that era. And secondly, and perhaps more importantly, is just to note how Alyssa Milano has not aged a single day since 2001.
Nope. 22 years later. So yeah, this was originally a straight to probably VHS, but also DVD at the time. Now, once again, you can find it. You can stream it on Disney Plus. It is available there. I checked. So happy birthday to Lady and the Tramp,
greatest
Scamp's Adventure.
The greatest film of all time.
Exactly. Well, Luke, that's the end of what I have on the list, but we are 2 minutes away from 10 o'clock Pacific. And so we're going to stay on. We're going to vamp for a couple more minutes just to see if there's any other news that comes out. Actually, I do have some news here we could talk about in the meantime. Cirque du Soleil is drawn to life. Anything about this? You seen this? You heard about this?
I don't know what the changes are. I know that there are some updates that come in.
So there's a couple of some new acts coming to the show. The additions include a brand new act, Icarian Games, paying tribute to Disney's animated forests and the mysterious creatures that inhabit them, featuring a pair of Ethiopian artists performing acrobatic feats in which one lies on their back and the other uses their legs and feet to toss the other performer in the air. Okay, so I've seen this in other Cirque du Soleil shows in Vegas. An aerial hoop artist taking to the air, performing tricks during the Dream of Colors act, a tribute to the ink and paint animation artist, featuring dramatic colors painted, quote unquote, by a human trapeze artist on a suspended wheel, and a flying guitarist joining the rhythmic gymnastic act, soaring above acrobats as they flip through the air. So there you go. There's also a new Florida resident offer for a limited time. Save up to 15% off on select seating categories from March 12th through May 7th. So, have you seen the show?
I have not. It's something I never saw La Nuba. and I don't think I've ever seen any Cirque du Soleil show. It's something that I'm like kind of interested in, but the price would have to be right for me for something like this. It's not something I would spend too much on.
Understandable. Well, it's 10 o'clock right now. I'm not seeing any news quite yet, but let me see. Did you see anything else you wanted to talk about, Luke?
Well, something just popped up about looks like could be new Encanto topiaries for Flower and Garden.
Very nice.
Don't know if you have that link, but
I do not. If you can send it to me, I will pull that up.
over to you.
Oh, you're going to do it that way. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't know where else to send it.
That's fine. First show together. Yeah, so innovative topiaries and merchandise, of course. Let me pull this up. Obviously, Encanto, huge. It's not even really a blockbuster. Like, it did okay in theaters, but then blew up when it came to Disney Plus, and is just a cultural phenomenon at this point. So it makes perfect sense they'd want to incorporate it any way they can into the parks before it has its own like real attraction. But here we go, topiaries. You're muted. Did I mute you?
Yeah, I've just realized I muted myself and then started talking. Those topiaries look really good and lifelike. Like, that's really cool.
Yeah, it's very cool. And then here's some other ones, other topiaries. And while we're plugging things, let's go ahead and watch this video together, actually.
Yeah.
Pull this up. Well, I opened it in a new tab, which means I need to load it in a new tab. So let me just play it from here.
And I'm Brittany.
And we're here to get a first look at the new topiaries coming to Epcot International Flower and Garden Festival.
We are so excited to have Princess Tiana joining the festival this year. She is loud and proud and ready to go in. She's my personal favorite, and we're just so happy to have her.
We love the silhouette created by Princess Tiana's gown, which is made up of 2 different types of ficus.
So we started about a year ago with Walt Disney Animation Studio on the concept of getting the Encanto characters here.
And from there, we partner with our digital design team who make sure our characters are on model.
So we focused a lot on getting that tension in Luisa's muscle, so we really get that push and strongness to her character. And if you come around back, you can really see the emphasis in her back muscles here to really give her that strong anatomy.
In horticulture, every year we're trying to add new elements. This year we've added a lighted butterfly to the Mirabelle topiary. And for the first time, we're doing a topiary all in succulents. The succulents are really great for the Florida climate.
The goal this year was to really get the guests to feel like they were part of the Madrigal family by being able to pose in the Madrigal family photo. We connect with these characters on so many different levels, and we're just so happy to have the Encanto characters here this year.
So that kicks off on Wednesday, and like I started to say, we'll be there. Jeremiah will be joining us. We're going to live stream. I believe that's going to be at 1 p.m. Pacific time, 4 p.m. East. So be sure to join us for that on Wednesday.
Yeah, and those topiaries look really good. I know we had at Disneyland, they had in downtown Disney, they had one of Isabella. I think that was the only character they had there, and that looks pretty similar. But yeah, no, those are some of the best topiaries I think I've ever seen from Flower and Garden.
You know, I haven't been to the Festival of the Arts yet. I haven't had a chance. I know that one's really popular, but I have to say, Flower and Garden in its current state is pretty easily my favorite of the Epcot festivals because it includes stuff like the food. Like food and wine is kind of like the most boring to me at this point because every festival has food and wine. So you get that plus the aesthetic of all these topiaries. So yeah, Flower and Garden I think is a home run. I look forward to it every year. Whether or not I get to go is up in the air. But
if you go back to the post real quick, I just want to point out. I'm so sorry.
No, I'm kidding.
I want to point out.
Thank you for pointing things out. That's not the correct one. Just a moment. You can go ahead and say it, and I'll pull it.
Or I also have the link to the specific image if you want that. which I now sent to you in the correct spot.
That's okay. Merchandise. Okay.
I am pointing out the Crocs because they have a little orange bird on them and a little figment. And I'm not much of a Croc guy, but that could do it.
Those do look pretty. I like the color and everything of those. So yeah, some of the stuff we just saw, we talked about this bag last week. We knew that an orange bird collection was coming, but this is kind of a first look at some of the other stuff.
That's a really nice
spirit
jersey.
That's
a really nice spirit jersey too.
I don't hate it. I don't hate orange bird. I know people get that misconception because of what I was saying on the show last week and before that, but I like him just fine. I just think that he, kind of punching above his weight class, don't you think?
He's no Figment, but he's great.
He's no Figment. He sells orange juice.
Yeah.
Even though we have Donald Duck for that. Anyway, and then here we have some other flower and garden. Looks like Snow White. I guess she tends to garden. Why not?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty cool. I should have known to look for merchandise when it said merchandise springs to life. So
it came up last moment.
Barring any other thing, I don't see any other news unless, is this even more merchandise? Nope, that's just the same article. They just have a different photo on the, let me pull this up. I don't even know what this is exactly. But they shared one more piece of merchandise that I will show on here real quick before we go. I have to do so many different things. So yeah, this I like I said, I don't 100% know what this piece of merchandise is, but it is pretty cute. You see orange bird swinging on. It kind of reminds me of is it Teddy Barra? So yeah, I don't know if that's an ornament or what that is. And we also see the munchlings that we previewed last week. Those are on there as well, along with the other things that we just showed. So yeah, I'd be very curious to know exactly what that is. I didn't see it. It might mention it in the post and just not have a photo, but that's from the tweet that the Disney Parks blog just shared. And I think that'll about do it for us. So thank you, Luke. The first of 4 appearances this week as we take over for Doobie while he's on vacation.
If you're really looking for some fun, tune in on Friday because that will probably be Kyle solo. Perhaps a special guest. We don't know.
Hopefully a special guest. Also at 4 p.m. Pacific today, we will have Parks Talk Live. That will also be interesting because but Jeremiah and Mike will be there. I'm not sure who else yet. Maybe myself. Who knows? So tune in for that as we figure this out and realize how much Doobie does for this site. So thank you all for watching. We'll be back tomorrow, and unless any major news breaks today, then we'll pop back in. Probably Luke and I will do that. So until then, we'll see you later. Have a great day. As soon as I find the outro video. Bye.